There's a lot of new construction going on in Central Texas, but Six Creeks in Kyle stands out amongst all of them. You have amazing greenbelt views, you have a fishing pond behind me, and great amenities. So if you're searching for your next home, it needs to be on your short list. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what you actually need to know before you buy here, the builders, price points, schools, the commute, and a few things most people don't think about until after they've already signed. Because at the end of the day, you want to buy for the life you live Monday through Friday. And by the time we're done here, you should have a pretty clear idea whether Six Creeks belongs on your short list or if something else might be a better fit. Six Creeks sits on 858 acres in Kyle, Texas. It's west of I-35, which is a distinction worth paying attention to. This is the newer, quieter side of Kyle, less commercial sprawl, more intentional development. The community is master planned and still actively building. You're looking at roughly 2,000 homes at full build out. Phases are well underway and moving toward completion, which means you're buying into a community that already has momentum, but still has the upside of early pricing in some sections. Right now, there are 6 builders active here in Six Creeks: Chesmore, Coventry, Highland, Pulte, Taylor Morrison, and Perry. And honestly, that mix is part of what makes this community interesting. You've got builders like Highland and Coventry, which tend to lean more design forward. Pulte and Taylor Morrison usually bring more floor plan flexibility and deeper inventory track record. And then Chesmore and Roswell can hit slightly different price points or layouts depending on what you're looking for, so you're not locked into one style or one approach here. For this video, I want to focus on Perry Homes, specifically their 2662W plan, just to give you a clear example of what you can get. But the bigger picture here is if one builder doesn't quite fit, there's a good chance another one will. I've actually walked a similar Perry plan out in Easton Park before, but I wanted to show you this one here so you can start to see how these floor plans translate across different communities. As far as the setup in Six Creeks, lot sizes range from about 45 feet up to 70 feet wide. Home sizes run roughly 1,800 to 3,400 square feet. And right now, entry price is sitting around the high 300s, with this Perry home coming in around the high 500s. And like most new construction right now, each builder is offering some kind of incentive, whether that's a rate buy down or help with closing costs, but those change pretty frequently. So if you want a current breakdown of what's actually available, just reach out and I can walk you through it. Alright, so what does it actually feel like living here day to day? The main amenity center is already up and running. You've got a clubhouse, pickleball courts, playgrounds, a dog park, catch and release ponds, and a trail system that runs through the green spaces. And this is one of those communities where it actually feels usable. If you've got a family or you just like being outside and having things you can walk to, it's set up really well for that. Now here's something important to know. There's a second amenity center plan. That's not speculation. It's part of the long-term build out of the community. So if you're buying here now, you're getting in while that infrastructure is still being developed. For a lot of buyers, that's positive, especially if you're thinking a few years down the road. And then throughout the neighborhood, you've got about 45 acres of green space woven in. It's not just small patches between homes. The way this is laid out, it actually feels like a connected neighborhood when you're driving or walking through it. Schools here feed into Hayes CISD. At the elementary level, it's either Colon or Negley, depending on where your home is in the community. Colon is the newest campus. It opened in 2024. School is Barton and high school is Jack C. Hayes High. And for a lot of families, that's actually part of the appeal here. You're buying into a community that's growing alongside the schools serving it. Now let's talk about location, because this is where I really want you to slow down and think about your day-to-day life. Six Creeks sits on the west side of I-35 in Kyle, and your main access point here is FM 1626. From there, you're usually connecting into Mopac or I-35, depending on where you're headed. Downtown Austin is about 22 miles from here, but in real traffic, not the version of traffic Google showed you at 2 in the morning, you're usually looking at somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour. So if you're considering this community, make sure you're thinking about the drive you're actually going to live with. What is close though is solid. You've got Kyle Park nearby, plus the 101 acre mixed use area with places like Dick's Sporting Goods, Barnes and Noble, Hobby Lobby, Dave's Hot Chicken, Raising Cane's, HEB Plus, and Target. For Kyle, that's a strong setup for day-to-day convenience. Alright, here's the real tension with Six Creeks, and I want to say this clearly so you can make a good decision. When you're looking in Kyle, you're not short on options. On the west side of I-35, you got communities like this, along with others like Anthem and Clara Vista, where price points tend to be a little higher. On the east side, you'll find places like Crosswinds, Caseta Ranch, Waterstone, and Talavera, where you can usually get more square footage for the money. And then you've got additional pockets like Plum Creek, Infinity Square, Opal Meadows, Paramount, Parkton Square. So overall, Kyle gives you a lot of choice. So the question becomes, what are you actually optimizing for? If your main goal is getting the most space for your budget, there are definitely other communities worth looking at. But when buyers choose Six Creeks, it's usually for a different reason. You're getting a master plan setup, multiple builders, established amenities, newer schools, and your position on the west side with access that can connect you towards Mopac instead of relying entirely on I-35. And zooming out for a second, both sides of Kyle and Buda are growing. You're seeing developments, new homes, new infrastructure in both directions, but they do tend to offer slightly different experiences in how the communities are laid out, how they feel, and how they connect back towards Austin. So it's not really a question of whether Six Creeks is a good community. The real question is, does the price point make sense for your budget and how you want to live day to day? If price is the main driver, there are options I can show you that might stretch your dollar a bit further. But if you're focused on the overall setup, the community, the layout, and the long-term feel of the area, this is one that actually stays on your short list. Six Creeks is one of those communities that checks a lot of boxes on paper and then delivers something that actually feels right when you walk it. That combination doesn't always happen, and it's worth acknowledging when it does. If you're searching in the Kyle Buda corridor, this belongs on your list. If you've already toured it and you're comparing it to something else, let's talk through the specifics. So what do you think about Six Creeks in Kyle, Texas? It is a community definitely to keep an eye on. If you have questions about Six Creeks or new construction across Central Texas, South Austin, Kyle, Buda, Bastrop, I'm here to answer that for you. If you want a list of available inventory or if you're looking for an established home, let me know because I would love to be able to discuss it with you, hopefully give you some insight about what I know and help you out if you're needing somebody to help you. Again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Brandon Holley with Holley Homes Realty, and stay tuned next week where we're going to cover Sunfield in Buda, Texas.